Hey guys, it's Kat and I have this to deal with. So I have been using a lot of products and I haven't done an empties for quite a number of months. And I need to get rid of these because I keep knocking this. This sits under my desk and I keep knocking it and the products go everywhere. So if you're new here and you're not sure what an empties video is, it is essentially me giving mini reviews of all the products that I've used up in the last couple of months. So these are all the products I've used up, and I'm just going to go through them, let you know if I would repurchase them or not, or if they were just like forgettable products. All right, so usually when I do these videos, I start with like the big products, which are usually like body washes and like hair products, but I want to start with the makeup and just do it the opposite because the makeup always happens to settle at the bottom. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is my Jouer Bronzer. So this was the light to medium bronzer and it's 2 shades, and I obviously used it up. I liked this. I thought the bronzer was really easy to use. It didn't look patchy on the skin. It was really easy to blend. I do think that one shade was like my perfect shade and one was a little bit too light. So I don't necessarily think this duo is something I would repurchase, but I did like the product. I thought it was really nice and it was a nice bronzer. So yeah, would I repurchase this? Probably not. Do I like the product? Yes. All right, I used up one mascara and I got rid of one mascara. So the one I used up is the Maybelline, the Falsies Lash Lift Mascara. I love this mascara so much, to the point where when I finished this, I actually went down to the shops and bought one as a backup because I love it that much. This was just a really good mascara. I have sort of semi spiky lashes that sort of just want to hover and sit here. So I do need a little bit of lift, but I also need something that separates enough that it doesn't sort of look spidery. And I need length and I need it all. I essentially need it all. And this was so good and consistent from the start to the end. I loved it. So yeah, I bought one of these because I love it so much. And then I got rid of the Cosmetics. This is, they don't put the names on their products. So this is the Cosmetics Mascara. I'll put the name in the description box with all the other products I talk about. And I got rid of this. It's a tubing mascara. So it's the kind of product that it doesn't break down with makeup remover or oil. You need to use warm water and it sort of comes off in like plastic sort of sheets. I personally don't like that. I didn't feel like this gave enough volume and length and sort of lift and definition. It was sort of just coated your lashes with a bit of color. It didn't really do much, and I don't like the sheets coming off. I find that it's just my personal preference. I don't like it. So I would not repurchase that. I used up a MAC liner. So this is a gel liner. So it's a Fluidline. Now this, it's got nail polish in the bottom because I was marking my progress as I was using it up. This was in the shade Past Twilight, which was a limited edition shade. And it was a really, really beautiful, sort of very dark brownie plum shade. So it was like a shade that worked with any makeup. It was like dark enough to almost look black, but it had a little bit of purple, a little bit of brown in it. And it was such a beautiful shade. I loved it, which is why I used it from start to finish. Now I love MAC fluid lines. I feel like they stay creamy almost to the last drop, and you can have them for years and they still are creamy and beautiful. You don't need to worry about rehydrating them. You don't have to worry about them sort of going flaky on your eyes. I really love them. I'm going to keep this little jar to back to MAC, and I would definitely repurchase this shade, but it is no longer available, and I've also been using it for the past 2 years to use it up. So yeah, a lot of bang for your buck when you get these fluid lines. They last a long time, but I need to give myself a break from this, but I would definitely repurchase it if I could because it's great. The black one's great. I've got a brown, I think I've got 1 or 2 brown ones. So, you know, I'm familiar with them and I do have others in my collection. So I don't need this one, but I did love it. All right, some pencil products. I've got a brow pencil. This is my Goof Proof brow pencil from Benefit and it's in the shade 3.5. This was sort of like a bigger sort of fill-in brow pencil. It does have like a diamond shape, so you can use the tip to create lines if you wanted to. But I always found that when I did try to mimic lines using this, I'd wear down the tip a lot faster than the pencil wears down, so I'd end up with like just a rounded nub anyway. But I really like these pencils. I fill in a large area of my brows. I think they last really well. They don't sort of rub off your face. Other brow pencils I've come across sometimes don't set enough, so if it's hot or you're oily, you sort of like can touch your face and the brow product moves. I love these. They're really, really good, but I do like to use them in conjunction with the Precisely My Brow Pencil, so you have that little one to mimic the hairs. So yeah, I would repurchase this. I have other ones. I love them. I also used up my Marc Jacobs. This is the Fineliner Ultra Skinny Gel Eyeliner in the shade Truffled, which is a dark brown. I'm trying to use up the 4 that I have in my collection this year. So this is the 3rd that I've used up. I'm currently working on the 4th. These are really, really beautiful. They're micro pencils, so they're very, very small, and they're very soft. So you can't retract them, so you can twist them up, but you can't twist them back down. And these are just very, very pigmented, very creamy. They apply to the waterline or the tight line with no effort, no scratching, no rubbing. It just like glides on. But my issue with these is that if you do want to use it as your standard liner, so on your top lid, like if you want to do a bit of a wing, they're often too soft and they sort of smudge. But also you use them up really, really fast. So there's actually not much product in here. So I'm using them up just because I've had Marc Jacobs eyeliners in the past dry out on me. So I wanted to use them up before they dry out because they're not cheap. And I have really enjoyed using them, but I wouldn't repurchase them because they do dry out fairly fast and they are pretty expensive. So I enjoyed them, but I probably wouldn't buy more. So I used up 2 samples of the Nars Soft Matte Complete Concealer. So I actually bought one in the shade, I think it was Custard. And then when we were getting into winter, I was like, look, I need another one. So I got 2 samples from Mecca, and I used them up. I really enjoyed them, and I ended up repurchasing one of them. So I love this concealer. I've got 2 of them open, a summer shade, a winter shade, and I love them. So yes, have I repurchased one? Yes, I have. Let's go lip balms. I used up 3 lip balms. One was an overnight treatment. This is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask in Mint Choc. Now there's nothing choc about this. It's just a mint, but it's also not a very nice mint. It sort of smells like toothpaste, but I really like the product. This was just a mini. I do have a vanilla one open next to my bed. They're fairly expensive, but I feel like if you have a full size, which are like 20 Australian dollars, I think, it will last me the whole year of nightly use. And it doesn't last all night on the lips. Like you don't wake up and you've got like product on your lips, but it lasts for like a good 6 hours throughout the night. So if you wake up really early, it might last on your lips. But for me, I just wake up with sort of plump, nice lips. So yes, does it feel like a standard lip balm? Yes, it does. But it is also a really good night treatment. And yeah, I've got a vanilla one open. So I haven't repurchased this scent in particular, and I probably wouldn't. I do think that they should work on making their scents a lot better, because I just sort of, they're all right, but they're not great. Like the vanilla isn't like a delicious vanilla that you're like, oh, that's a delicious smell. It's just like, oh, there's like artificial vanilla scent in this. And that's the same as this. Oh, it's like a little bit of a stale artificial mint. It's nothing like refreshing and vibrant. So I feel like they can work on their scents, but the product's good in my opinion. I used up my Ultraviolet. This is the Sheen Screen Hydrating Lip Balm. Now I did use this as sort of like a day product, a night product. I was trying to use it up. And I like these. I think they're great because they have SPF in them and it's a little bit of a tinted color. For me at the moment, these aren't very useful because when I leave the house, I have to wear a mask. So having a tint and SPF on my lips doesn't really matter. So I was just sort of using this to use it up. But these are the types of products that I do tend to reach for in summer quite a lot. So I do have other shades that I like better than this, like a nude and like a clear with a little bit of shimmer in it. They're very pretty. So I haven't repurchased, but I've got a couple and I'll keep using those. Oh, I used up a Carmex. This was just like my handbag lip balm, and what I did I actually had a sore lip. I had like a cut lip and it was like cracked. And I use this a lot and I end up using it up, and I love Carmex. I keep, like, whenever I am sort of running low on a lip balm, I'm like, I'll buy a Carmex because it's one that always works really well for me. I like the scent of it. I like the feel of it. So yeah, I would repurchase that. All right, I used a bunch of perfume samples up in my project pans. 2 of them are from Hermes, they're like a rose scented perfume. They were fine. I don't really like rose, so I wouldn't bother repurchasing that. And then I also bought a pack of 6 mini fragrances from Olfactive Studio. So I wanted to try this sort of fresh range of fragrances. Now there was one that I really liked and I don't remember which one it was, and I can't actually wasn't Panorama. So I think the one that I really liked from this range was Still Life. I don't know if I like it enough to spend a couple $100 on it. But I do like it, and it's going to be on my radar because it's one that I do enjoy. But I'm looking to buy a new house sometime soon, so I'm not going to buy another fragrance. But yeah, note to self, if you want to buy one, Still Life is the one that you enjoyed the most. All right, we've got one mini nail polish. I can't believe I've got a nail polish. I haven't used up a nail polish in years, but this is from OPI. Now I don't remember the name. I'll have it in the description box. It's a beautiful nude peach. Now I don't really usually use nude shades. They're often a little bit dull and a little bit boring, but this was a nice sort of vibrant peachy nude. So I'll put a photo on the screen. I loved it. I used it up in a couple of months because I was wearing it sort of daily. It looked great on the toes, looked great on the fingers. It is definitely one I would repurchase. So I'd even look at buying this one in the gel if that was available. But yeah, great shade, loved it. Oh, and I guess this is sort of makeup related. This is a finishing spray. So it's by Glow Recipe. It's the Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. I did quite like this. It's watermelon scented, so it's quite nice and refreshing. And it's got a micro mister on it, so it's a nice sort of even spray. I didn't notice that it did anything great for my makeup though. So what I love about these sort of mists is that when you do wear, like I do, matte powdered makeup, often it can look a little bit cakey on the face or a little bit powdery, whereas if you give it a good spray with a finishing spray, it tends to add a little bit more hydration and make it look a little bit more skin-like or help it meld with the skin. I didn't see anything amazing when I did wear this versus when I didn't. So I like the experience of using this, but I probably wouldn't repurchase it because I didn't see the result in my makeup. All right, on to skincare and hair care. Let's start with cleansers. So firstly, I used up my Dermalogica. This is the special cleansing gel. It's in a giant bottle. I actually do have a smaller bottle of this in my stash, so I've still got it around. This is just a really basic but sort of gentle and effective cleanser. I like Dermalogica. I think they're too expensive, but I do like their products. They do work well on me. I prefer the smaller container just because I found that this was too cumbersome in my shower, and also it pumped too much product. Now, this is expensive, especially for a cleanser, but one thing that's good about it is a small amount goes a long way. So you only need to use a small, tiny amount and it will spread over your face. It doesn't work into a very foamy lather. It's more of a gel that has a slight lather to it, so you don't need to apply too much, whereas this pump, as soon as you pumped it down, it applied too much and you end up having to spread it down your neck and your chest and on your shoulders. So I found like this bottle, I over applied it and I wasted product. Not that putting it on my body is a waste, but for the price it was a bit much. So I like the product, but I prefer it in the smaller container, even though this is better value. All right, I used up the Good Molecules Rosewater Daily Cleansing Gel. So again, this is a cleanser that is a gel cleanser, but this one doesn't foam much at all. So it just feels like you're putting a gel on your face and then you wash it off. It was nice and gentle. I didn't like the glass bottle. I found that was really limiting. I like to wash my face in the shower, but I didn't want a glass bottle stored up in my shower in case I dropped it. So I wouldn't repurchase this. I like something that has more of a lather, and I also like something that's not in a glass bottle. I also used up a cleansing oil. This is by Tony Moly. It's the Wonder Apricot Seed Deep Cleansing Oil. This is a really nice cleansing oil. It wasn't too heavy. It didn't leave a residue. It did melt off really nicely as soon as you mixed it with water, so it emulsified. Didn't leave a greasy residue, which was great. And I did enjoy it. So I would definitely look at repurchasing this. I do have some Shiramura ones that are much more expensive, a little bit more luxe, and they're my personal favorite, but the Tony Moly one worked really, really well. I also used up the La Roche-Posay Effaclar. This is the Ultra, Micellar Water Ultra. I really like this. It's the only micellar water I've come across other than Bioderma that didn't like irritate my skin or my eyes. I find that a lot of other micellar waters, it must contain ingredients that irritate my skin, but they can sort of sting a little bit or sting my eyes a little bit, whereas this was fantastic. The Bioderma is fantastic. So yeah, which one I go for is just dependent on which one's on sale. But I love this. I also love the scent of it. It's got the typical Effaclar scent, which doesn't irritate my skin for one, which is great, but also just reminds me of the Effaclar range, which I really do love. Yeah, I would definitely repurchase this, especially if I saw it on sale. All right, let's talk about hand and body products. Firstly, I'll talk about two oils. So I've got the Nooks. This is a multi-purpose oil. I had this in my project pan and I explained that I love the oil. The oil's really nice. Even on my oily skin, it does leave your skin a little bit greasy, but in winter, it was really nice to put on sort of before you go to bed, and it's sort of like a treatment overnight. But the spray I don't like because it sort of sprays everywhere and gets your tiles all slippery, and it's just not nice. I think I nearly fell over a couple of times just spraying this on my body. But then I realized you sort of have to put it in your hand, spray it in there a few times, and then use the product from your hands. So you may as well just have it in a pump bottle. So I like the product. I've used a few of these in my time, but I actually think I've got oils that I like more. And one that I like more is actually by Elizabeth Arden. This again has the damn spray, which is annoying, but I preferred this oil over the Nooks one. So this is the 8-hour cream all over miracle oil. I really like this. I feel like it's more nourishing. I think it soaks into the body a little bit better, and there's something about the scent. I don't know what it is, but it just feels really nostalgic to me. I don't know if I feel like it's a product that I've used before and I really loved like 10 years ago, and I don't remember what it was, but I love the scent of this. I love the feel of it, and I would definitely track this one down. And again, Elizabeth Arden isn't cheap. I would probably look for a sale and buy like 3 of them. Another body product that was very luxe and I did enjoy, and again, I probably wouldn't buy full price, but if I saw it on sale, I would buy a couple of them, is this body butter by Laura Mercier. So this is the Almond Coconut Milk Body Butter. I usually don't like coconut scented things, but this is a beautiful, sort of smelled like a dessert. It sort of smelled vanilla-y, almondy, a little bit of coconut, quite milky, sort of creamy, and it was just really decadent. This was a nice thick body butter, so it was great in winter, and it was just like a treat yourself sort of product. If you're gonna have a bath and shave your legs and do a mask and pamper yourself, this is the type of body butter that I want to reach for. I wouldn't reach for it every day, it's too expensive, but it was very luxe and I did really, really enjoy it. Now, I would definitely repurchase this if I saw it in a Christmas pack. I know, and this came in a Christmas pack, so they often have like duos or multi-packs and it's cheaper. I would totally buy more of these and in different scents if I saw it in a Christmas pack. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled this holiday season for Laura Mercier body butter or body products because they're really, really beautiful. Something that I didn't love as much, this is the Electric Ink Daily Moisturizer. So it is a tattoo care moisturizer. Now, I don't think there was anything wrong with this. It claims to have some ingredients that help sort of keep your skin exfoliated, and therefore if you remove the dead skin cells, it makes your tattoos look brighter. And I don't necessarily doubt that. I'm sure there are things in there that do that. But I didn't notice a difference using it or not using it. But then again, I wouldn't apply this to half my tattoo to test it out. So yeah, again, I'm sure it works. I just didn't see that this was any better than using a normal moisturizer, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you are really, really pedantic about keeping your tattoos bright, maybe check out this brand. They do have other products as well, like serums and other products. But it was okay, but I wouldn't repurchase it. All right, I used up 2 hand creams. This one's by Mecca Cosmetica. This is the Nourishing Hand Cream. It's in Oud and Juniper Berries. That's the scent. I like this. The scent is a little bit different from what I normally go for. It's a little bit more perfumey. I like things that are a little bit more fresh and light and a little bit zesty, or vanilla-y and sort of like tasty smelling. This was more like perfume, like old school perfume, but it was a really nice hand cream. I think I've got another one or a sample, and I enjoyed using this. The thing that I don't love about it is the metal tube sort of cracks by the end and product comes out the side. But this was like my handbag hand cream. I really enjoyed it. And what I like about it was thick enough to feel like your hands aren't dry, but at the same time, if I was like driving my car, it wouldn't be slippery all over the steering wheel. So nourishing, thick, luscious, but soaks in, which I liked. So I would repurchase that. I would like to see more scents though, personally. One that I loved for before I go to bed, so I like to put hand cream on before I go to bed. This is from the Chemistry brand, and this is the Hand Chemistry Pro Repair Skincare for Hands. Now, this used to be called, I don't know what the product was called, but the brand used to be called Hand Chemistry before they changed it to the Chemistry brand. I love this product. I've used it multiple times. I think this is like my 4th or 5th tube of it or tub of it. I don't like this tub format, even though it's more economical. It's a bigger bottle, so you end up getting more value for money. But I found that because the hand cream is so thick, it didn't actually go up the tube that well. And you had a lot of product around the sides that you had to take this out, literally store it upside down, and it wouldn't even move, but you'd have to like really try to get it out. So I would definitely buy this product again because it's one of the few hand creams that actually I feel like it does like anti-aging sort of properties. So any like fine lines or something on your hands, they tend to sort of minimize after using this for a few weeks. So I love this product, but I would probably buy it similar to the Dermalogica big bottle. I'd probably buy it in the smaller bottle. It's not as economical, but I feel like it's just easier to use and you get right to the bottom, whereas this was a real struggle. All right, serum-y type products, moisturizer type products. Let's talk about them really quickly. I used up the Dermalogica Retinol Clearing Oil. So this was an oil that had retinol in it, and that type of retinol was supposed to help control breakouts. I don't really get breakouts too often, so I didn't really notice if it did that or not, but I did think it was a nice retinol oil. It didn't irritate my skin, it didn't cause any issues, which other retinols can do, and I think because this was in a nice light oil, it was just a nice product. So I like this. I would definitely consider repurchasing it if I was having like breakouts and congestion and whatnot, because I think it's sort of like the anti-aging and breakout controlling, which a lot of brands don't do both. They do one or the other. So I did like this, but I don't need it in my routine. I also liked the Ole Henriksen Truth Serum. So this is a collagen boosted True C complex. So it's like a vitamin C sort of serum. I really enjoyed this. It's sort of like a thicker, I'd call it like a hybrid between a gel and a serum. So it wasn't runny like a serum, wasn't as thick as a gel, sort of in between. It smelled really nice. Had like a vitamin C tablet sort of fragrance to it. And I enjoyed using it. So I would probably consider buying more from this range because I did enjoy it. I used up a little jojoba oil. So this is like a multi-purpose oil. I feel like it is a little bit greasy for everyday use for me, but occasionally at night I'd like to use it. It was good on like the nails and cuticles. It was good on the body. So this brand is the Jojoba Company and it's the Australian jojoba oil. I would use it again. I did like it. I used up a Mecca Cosmetica multi-purpose plumping balm. So this is a product that can either be a really rich moisturizer, primer, or like hydrating mask. I did like this. I found it to be, it smelled nice, it felt nice, it felt really luxurious, but I found that this was too heavy for my skin. So I ended up using this up as a hand cream. Again, really luxurious, sort of that beautiful sort of buttery feel like the Laura Mercier body butter. To be fair, I didn't actually buy this one. I think I got it in a birthday gift because I'm a Beauty Loop member. And every year when it's your birthday month, you get a free gift. So I think I got this as a free gift. And if I got it again, I would use it again, but I wouldn't buy it. All right, 2 samples of moisturizers. I didn't really like either of these. So I've got the Ren Ever Calm. This is a Global Protection Day Cream. I hated this. It smelled like, ugh. This had a funky smell. It was like old flowers and like old sort of like old dried dusty flowers. It wasn't very nice. And I just didn't see anything great about this, so I wouldn't personally repurchase this. Then I also have the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. Again, I think this one actually irritated my skin. I think I was using this and it sort of made like my skin feel a little bit tingly and almost like burny. But this did have a nicer scent to it. But yeah, it's not for me. I used up 2 sunscreens. I used up the Ultraviolet Clean Screen. So this is the fragrance-free weightless mineral sunscreen and it's SPF 30. I enjoyed this. It was really easy to use. I would definitely repurchase this. I really like Ultraviolet. They're a really good sunscreen Australian company. And we have really, really, really strict sun protection requirements. So when you buy an Australian brand, they're generally really, really good. And this is, yeah, no exception. Great brand, would repurchase. Then I also used up the Biore UV Aqua Riche Watery Essence. So this is either Japanese or Korean, I'm not too sure, but it's a very, very thin watery SPF. So it's a almost like a gel and it just goes on like water, which is hence the name Watery Essence. So it sort of just disappears. Now I sort of feel like even though this gives the sun protection that it claims, which is SPF 50 plus, I didn't love the texture of this as much. It's sort of very, very thin and it's a little bit slippery. So I found that when I did put my foundation or my products over it, there was just a little bit more slip to it. So I've used this before. I think I've used a few tubes of it and I've used it for years on and off. I think I prefer Ultraviolet to this. So even though I would use more, I think I might have another one under my sink, I'm not sure. I would definitely use it. It's very comfortable. It's not like a thick, gluggy sunscreen that sort of clogs your pores or sits funny on your skin. It's very light and easy to use. I actually prefer the Ultraviolet one, so I'd prefer to repurchase that. Which also doesn't feel heavy on the skin, doesn't clog your pores, doesn't break you out, doesn't make you feel greasy. The Ultraviolet ones are really great. Last body product before I get on to hair care. This is the Koi Invigorating Body Wash, Blood Orange and Ginger. It's just a body wash. I think you get this from Kohl's. I think it is, yeah, Kohl's. I was hoping this would be a lot more zesty with the orange, but it's sort of like orange, dull, muted background there. It's just a body wash, nothing amazing. Would I use it again? Maybe, but I'd prefer to try something else because I wasn't blown away by this, but it did the job. It washed my body. I used up 2 masks. This is the Unicorn Glow Hologram Mask, and this was scary. I've used one of these before. They're scary. They look like grey metal masks. They don't look holographic. They look creepy. And I didn't see any great results from this, so I wouldn't repurchase this, but it's, you know, it's a sheet mask. And then I used also a foot peeling mask. I think this is by 11 Village Factory. Anyway, I think I've got another one of these. This does work. So it's one of those foot peeling masks where you put your feet in them for like an hour or so, and then over a couple of weeks, your feet peel. This did peel. It took about a week to see any peeling, and then it was like all done in like a couple of days. So usually they work, I think, faster and then take longer to peel. I don't feel like my feet are as renewed as I sort of expected them to be. I think Milky Foot works a bit better, but this was fine. Like, would I repurchase it? Probably not. Did I enjoy using it? Yeah. And I also think the bags that you put your feet in, these were a little bit more tighter and easier to work with. All right, really quickly, hair products. This is a conditioner. I did not like it. It was not worth the money. This is from the L'Oreal Professional range. And this is like the volume conditioner. Now I like volumizing products because my hair can get weighed down really easily. So for me to get any sort of like volume, I need it to be sort of like light and airy. So anything heavy, I don't like. I wanted to try this because it's like the Expert series and I was looking for a conditioner. This was not worth the money. It was like 20 something Australian dollars, maybe 25. I went through it super fast. This bottle is tiny, 200 mils tiny, and it didn't really do anything. I want something that like keeps the volume, but also nourishes the hair. And this feels like it didn't do anything. So I would not repurchase this. I think I've got one. What brand do I have it from? I think it's L'Oreal as well, but it's a cheaper one. Like it was like $3. I feel like that works better than this. And it had more product in it. So I would not buy this at all. I've got a few products from Davines. So I've got some sachets, which I've got more of because my hairdresser, she stocks Davines and she gave me a whole bunch of these samples. So thank you, Madeline. So these are the Love Curl Shampoo and Curl Conditioner. I think these are a little bit heavy for my hair because again, anything sort of that's defrizzing or that sort of amplifies curls tends to be a little bit too rich, but I did like these and the sachets lasted me a couple of usages. So I did like these, but I'm keen to try the other ones I have because I've got a few different ranges. So yeah, didn't mind these, but keen to try out more. And then I also used up 2 oil products, the oil shampoo and oil conditioner. These are too heavy for my hair, but I use the conditioner more as a mask, which I really did like. And I use the shampoo sort of as like a first shampoo, and then I followed it up with a more of a clarifying shampoo. So I did make them work, but I don't think this range is for me, but I do like Davines. I think Davines is a nice sort of selling brand. I've got another one. I'm going to hold that because I've still got the shampoo in my shower, so I may as well talk about them together. So I'll hold that for next time. Last 2 things, I've got a dry shampoo. This is the Chlorane dry shampoo with nettle. It's for oil control and it's supposed to be for oily dark hair. So this was slightly tinted. It wasn't so much that it would like deposit color, which is good, but it definitely didn't look white or have a white cast. I feel like I used this up really quickly and I don't think it did much. So I wouldn't repurchase this personally. But at the same time, lately, I think because I've been using quite volumizing hair products, which keep my roots sort of less oily for longer, I don't find myself reaching for dry shampoo too often. I used to find that when I was using richer hair products, I would have to reach for the dry shampoo literally the very next day, whereas now I usually don't reach for it at all. It's only if I sort of go like 4 days without washing my hair and I'm like, oh, it's looking a bit gross, I might spritz a little bit in, but I used to go through dry shampoo a lot and now I don't. So yeah, I wouldn't repurchase that one, but I'm not using as much dry shampoo these days. Last thing I want to talk about, and I think I actually used up 2 of these. These are the semi-permanent hair colors by Schwarzkopf. So they're Schwarzkopf Live, and this is in the shade Natural Brown. Now I picked up a couple of these when they were on sale. They were like, I don't know, $5 or something. And because I don't have super long hair, 1 bottle easily covers my hair. This is a washout product, so it doesn't have any bleaching properties. It doesn't, damage your hair. All it does is deposits a bit of color that eventually washes out over 12 washes. So if I'm feeling a little bit gray or a little bit dull, or I've got a few things coming up which won't happen for a while since we're in lockdown, and I want to feel like my hair's not completely shit, I do like reaching for one of these. And yeah, I do think I've got a couple of backups and I'd totally buy them again because they were cheap, they were easy to use, and they worked, and they don't damage the hair, which is really good as well. So yes, I would repurchase this. So yeah, I've been a busy bee using up a lot of products over the last few months. And again, I'll list all the products in the description box if you wanted to know their names. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that quick fire. I don't know how many products that was. I'll have on the screen how many products that was and how many reviews I just gave you, but I'm sure it's a lot because that is a lot of stuff. If you missed any of the names of these and you were interested, I'll have them listed in the description box along with some of the makeup I'm wearing and the nail polish I'm wearing. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.